Today in my Bloxburg city, I built a mini grocery store called GLOSSIES. Hey glossettes, welcome back. How are you guys doing today? Now we are back in my city building series Los Angeles today. It's been a while and today we are building over on this side because finally we are going to be building a supermarket or a grocery store, whatever you want to call it. I'm expanding my business empire yet again and I've been so excited for this one, weirdly enough. I don't know what it is, but I just love the idea of building like a supermarket. So we are going to get straight onto the build plans, and to be honest, I don't really have any. I want the front to be quite sleek and minimalistic like most stores are, but we're kind of just gonna wing it, honestly. I have like a rough design here and I also want a cool sign. I think I'm gonna call it GLOSSIES, and this is strategic, okay? Because if you're American, then you probably think, oh, this is like a play on words for Costco, and if you're British, you'll be like, oh, it's a play on words for Tesco. So I've been strategic and this is like relatable for both my British and American viewers, and if you're not from either of those, then I don't know, okay? And that's kind of it for the plans. For the interior, I have marked off like some kind of like areas for, we're gonna have freezers back here. These are going to be like the rows of shelves. We'll have a mini like counter conveyor belt, and then outside I do want to have some kind of like fruit stall things, but I've genuinely not planned this because I kind of forgot. So we are just going to get straight into it. I do actually like the location of this unit because it's kind of the only one on this side. Like on the left we have, oh for goodness sake, my decals have disappeared again. On the left we have, on the right we have the nail salon, and then on this side we have like the school store. So it's kind of like finishing off this one side. Before we get on to like all the shelves and products, which is the fun bit, we are gonna do the exterior because I feel like once again this is gonna be pretty simple. I'm gonna start by making kind of like just a thing along the top. Obviously this is like a mini grocery store. If you're British, then if you know what the co-op is, it's kind of channeling that, like a mini tiny store. Also, I did do a little bit of work and I decreased the plot data on Los Angeles, so we do have a bit more room to go crazy with basic shapes yet again because I never learned my lesson. Okay, this is kind of the top bit. This is what we're gonna have the logo on, but I want to have like a diagonal stripe on it. I don't know why, this has just popped into my head. So for this we're gonna use a triangle and try and make this look decent. So I think the kind of name will be on this side and we'll have the name on the stripe. Does this look cute? Wait, let me recolor it so you can kind of see the shape. I don't want to color everything yet, so we're just gonna use some lovely shades of gray, but can you see it? I think this is cute. Wait, this is actually gonna be really cute. Oh my god, I should make some mini trolleys as well. Oh my gosh, what do Americans call them? Grocery carts, shopping carts? We have mini ones for kids. Oh my gosh, wait, okay, I was gonna say we have only these ones for kids, like they're called shopping carts, but we do have this laundry basket cart, which I feel like if we added a handle to, this could kind of work. But in England, we call them trolleys, okay? I'm gonna keep this over here, but yeah, there's so many words that like are just so different. Like, what was I talking about the other day? And this is kind of a different word even from most of England. I was talking to one of my American friends and we were talking about pacifiers, you know, the things you give babies, but I didn't know what like most people called it, not even just Americans, but the rest of the UK. So if you didn't know, I'm actually from like the north of England. I'm technically, well not technically, I'm like a Geordie. That's like the area I'm from, if you know what that is. So even we have like a lot of kind of like words that even the rest of England don't really use, and one of those is the word for pacifiers. I was brought up calling it a dodie, but the rest of England kind of call it a dummy, and then Americans call it a pacifier. I feel like it has so many different words, but no one ever knows what I'm on about when I say dodie. Okay, I was trying to make like some reflections on the window, but that just looks terrible. So you know what, let me just actually plan what's going to be at the front. I think it would be cool to have, like I said, the trolleys, but I don't know where to put them because I wanted to have some fruit stalls at the front and I feel like it would take up too much room if I put it like here. I don't feel like that would be cute, but then I was thinking maybe down the side. However, this wall here was meant to be a door, so I would have to completely block this off. This is meant to go up to a unit, which is gonna be, what on earth is this? I genuinely don't know what this is meant to be. I have all the plans like for every single building in here, but then I lost them. I'm pretty sure this is meant to be like a pet grooming store. I don't know, but if I put this here, there would be no entrance into it. I could do what I normally do and just do it anyways and let me deal with it in like a month and be really mad that I built it that way, which is a tempting offer. Okay, I'm doing it. So we're gonna have trolleys down the side, and then let me plan out where the boxes are gonna go. So I want to have like the fruit stands. Oh, you know what I should do? I should go and spawn in my other plot that has a supermarket on it that I built. I built like a mini BFF. So I want to have boxes of fruit here and then another one here, like fruit and vegetables. So this is what design I'm gonna try and like copy a little bit. However, I think we do have a wooden thing, like a wooden box, but it's wonky. Oh my gosh, I can't find it. Where's the crate thing? Not this. Oh my gosh, there's like a box we have, like like a wooden crate thing, but all the wood's wonky. I swear, am I making this up? Okay, I actually might have made this up. Oh my gosh, it's in storage. Okay, this is what I mean. We have a wooden crate. Okay, wait, it's not that wonky. I thought it was worse. So I could use this and put it on a stand. Can I transform it? Okay, wait, I can. Okay, wait, we might use this. I was gonna make a custom one, but we know I'm trying to save plot data, so I need to stop making it worse for myself. Let's make these kind of like on a stand, and then we can put some food in it. And whilst I do this, I have my first story time of the day for you guys, and it's about food. We're going on theme today. I thought it would be fitting. So today, you know what I want to talk about? I want to talk about my favorite pizza place. First of all, as per usual, hi guys, how are you guys doing? I feel like it's wrong of me to start ranting before I say that. It's like a ritual every video. I have this favorite pizza place in all the world, and I feel like it's only right that I dedicate a video to talk about it, because honestly, I might have already done it. I love it that much. I'm pretty sure I have mentioned it in a video before. Okay, wait, let me move this forward a little bit. This is gonna be our fruit stand. But there is this pizza place that I absolutely love, and the issue is it's not an actual place. So there is this pizza van, shall I say, that I've become obsessed with over the past like year now, because their pizza is so incredible. Like the best pizza I've ever tasted. However, they are so hard to track down because, like I said, it's a pizza van, so they only really do like these random events. Now luckily there is a place they go to quite frequently, which I also go to, so I can track them down pretty easily. But I'm gonna put pictures on screen of this pizza. Guys, it's so good. The reason I wanted to talk about it was because there was this one time last year where I really wanted it, okay? But like I said, they only do like random events, and then sometimes they disappear for ages, and I just really wanted the pizza. And then I saw, because I have like an Instagram, I saw on their Instagram that they were at like an event, a location, and they posted this video where they briefly skim over where they are, and I could see that they were like surrounded by houses and stuff. So they were in like a housing estate, but there was no clues on where they were. But I was like, you know what, I'm gonna track this pizza down, okay? I'm this desperate for the pizza. I was gonna find out exactly where they were. So I studied this video frame by frame. I screen recorded their Instagram story. I put it into my camera roll so I could slowly kind of go back and forwards and pan across the screen and try and look for little clues of where they were. And then I saw it in the background. There was like this fence with a banner on it, and it said the brand of the housing estate. Now I don't know if this is just like a British thing, but housing estates will be actual like familiar companies, so they kind of build housing estates like across the entire UK, like the same company, if that makes sense. I can't remember which one this was called, but it was like a really kind of like popular one. So I know they had like hundreds of housing estates up and down the country that they like owned, so it was going to be incredibly hard for me to figure out which one this one was. But I knew they were doing an open day because that's why the pizza was there, so that kind of narrowed it down a lot to only the housing estates in the country, the entire country, that currently had like open days on. So what I did was I went on this housing estates website, I looked on their Facebook and looked at all the events they had, months and months worth of posts where they were announcing where events would be for like that day, and there was like 20 of them on the same day. So I went through every single one, looked for the one that was closest to where I lived, because obviously the pizza place is from like the same place, the same area I live in, found the closest one, and then me and my mum drove like 30 minutes there, not even with the confirmation that that was the correct one, and found them, and it was just the best time of my life. When we drove up and the pizza van was in fact there, I got it right. And you want to know what makes this story even better? The pizza was free. We didn't even know this, but because it was like an open house day, they were giving out free pizzas, so I got a free one as well. It was so worth it. So we just had to pretend we were there to look at houses. We toured a couple of them because I love looking at houses, it's so fun. And then I got a free pizza. It was like the highlight of my life, okay? I think about that day often. Anyways, this kind of sucks. I don't know what this is. I don't like it. Maybe it's because it's not colored. Should I like roughly color it? I think it's the crates. I think it's because they're too wonky for my liking. I'm honestly not sure. I think it's because they're too tall also. You can't resize these ones like flatter, so it just kind of looks a bit odd. So I ended up changing the entire thing and making custom kind of like baskets. Yes, I caved. I also made a trolley out of the laundry thing just by adding kind of like a structural handle on it, and then I moved these to the front of the store with a custom fence. But moving on, I thought it was time to actually kind of get the food that I wanted to have in here and just kind of work out what I could sell on the shelves. And of course, I didn't want to make custom food because the more custom stuff I do, the more it makes my PC sound like it's about to explode. And I also don't really like the whole vibe of just like adding decal pictures of real food and builds, so I wanted to stick to using bloxburg food items only. I gathered a bunch of fruit and vegetables from the fridge, and then I started finding snacks in there too that I could sell on the shelves. And I also went to BFF supermarket to grab the crisps and drinks, and I honestly forget how much food this game does have, but then I got more fruit and vegetables that you can't get from the fridge, like the tomatoes and strawberries, just by placing their plants down from build mode and then harvesting them. I also wanted to make jam and sell it because, fun fact, you can make jam out of any fruit and vegetable in the game. However, I will say I completely forgot about this idea, but I organized most of the food neatly, and I also went to my food stock plot to get some more seasonal snacks like the witch's brew drink and the candy hearts, and then I added some fruit into the baskets to begin. But that was pretty much it. However, the whole collecting food thing did take me like an hour, okay? However, I find it satisfying, but yeah, that's pretty much all I did. So I haven't probably finished the kind of like fruit things because they look kind of like empty. And I also don't know whether I want to have the 2 other crates at the front because I don't know how many kind of like fruit and vegetable shelves I'll have in the actual store. So what we're gonna do is just move on to the inside to figure it out. I did add like roof tiles and stuff and like a wall trim and everything. I don't know if this will stay the same, but I've been adding the freezers at the back because we're gonna have some of these. But the first thing I want to make in here is like a drinks fridge near the front. So this is obviously gonna be like the checkout area, and then I want to have a drinks fridge. Think kind of like the Tesco meal deal aisle. Oh my god, Belle's just jumped on my lap. Belle, do you want to say hi? Can you hear her? She was asleep on my floor and now she's on my knee. Okay, anyways, I want to build like the drinks fridges you see in like Tesco's and things, so I can have like all of the like the drinks and everything. So I think that's what we're gonna do first. It's very hard to work out what shelf to start with. This is basically kind of like a bigger fridge freezer type thing. I think we're gonna put it maybe on this wall. So this is kind of like the snack area, I guess. Let me just kind of mark out the space for everything, and also let me grab a bottle to kind of mark out the height. I need to make sure this is all tall enough, but yeah, not gonna lie, the update I want to see the most in Bloxburg is in fact the BFF supermarket update because I think it has so much potential. I also love Bloxburg food, so it's like food related updates are normally my favorite, but I am kind of glad they haven't updated yet because I feel like it would be such a big overhaul of like all the food and stuff that it would take so long. So it's one of the updates that I don't want to see rushed. I want it to be as good as like the Bloxy Burgers update. That is one of my favorites. Maybe they can blow up the BFF supermarket too. A girl can dream. But yeah, BFF supermarket is one of my top updates that I am like anticipating. But the second one, or kind of like the other update that I want equally as much, is the Ben's ice cream update. How good would it be? I've said this in multiple videos, but I'm saying it again. I want them to do like a really fun ice cream mini game, kind of like once again the Bloxy Burgers revamp. I want it to be really good. I'm thinking like Moshi Monsters ice cream mini game type thing. It has so much potential to be such a fun job. That is one of my biggest kind of Bloxburg dreams. Okay, wait, this is looking pretty good. I want the sides of this to be glass, but I'm not too sure how to do this. Let me like transform it a little bit. Also, I want to yap about Gloss Angeles quickly. So obviously, I feel like I've been doing this series now for nearly 2 years, maybe over a year. I'm honestly not sure how long it's been. Obviously, this is my second attempt at Gloss Angeles. I had the original Gloss Angeles that I discontinued the series because I ran out of plot data, but obviously I'm doing it again, and that's not gonna happen. Possibly, but I really want to finish this off like by summer, so there may be quite a lot of Gloss Angeles videos coming just so I can finally get this all done. When I don't post on this for a while, people freak out in my comments saying like, oh my god guys, she's discontinued it again, she's quit. No, I'm just slow, okay? I won't discontinue this one. Here we go. Wait, this is kind of cute. Let me move it along a little bit. Okay, wait, let me add. I think it's done. This is kind of cute. I'm obviously going to change the colors and everything maybe, but this kind of is perfect. We can fit all the drinks in it. I may need to get more. Oh my gosh, wait. No way. Oh wait, no, is it the bottle color, or I've just like changed the color? Oh, it's changing the outside. Okay, I thought you could change the color of the liquid for a second. I just got very excited. Can you change it in this one? No, I want to change this drink so bad. I mean, you can kind of change the color, like it looks different when you change the bottle color, but I hate how it's purple. I really want a drink we can change. My favorite types of food are the ones where we can actually change the color of the food item. But yeah, let me just add everything in the fridge. This is actually so adorable. So I finished the drinks fridge, but to be honest, I kind of hate it because it's like there's not many drink options and even less that you can actually color, basically none. So there was very few I could put in here, let alone that are pink, and I don't like color, okay? I'm allergic to other colors, so I just don't like it very much. I tried to do some custom ones, but yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of this. They need to add more drinks. But I also did some work on the layout. I decided this is gonna be the candy and stuff. We're gonna have like some custom cereals, and then this is like a bunch of snacks, and this is like skincare stuff, and this is like more cooking ingredients, general things. The fruit and vegetable go over here. We have like fridges and things. I also added some baskets for flowers, and I may or may not have stolen them from the florist from a few videos ago, but you guys have no proof, okay? But this is where we're at, and it's basically now gonna be a lot of me placing down objects, which I'm gonna get over with in a second. However, before I time lapse this bit, we are gonna go on a bit of a detour and go to my BFF supermarket build. So if any of you have watched my my movie from a couple years ago, Glossbusters, I made a mini BFF supermarket as a set to have in the background for certain things, and I actually pretty much nearly fully furnished the entire thing. We're gonna have to give this a second to load. The annoying thing is though, out of all of the sets I built for the movie, this one probably had the most detail inside. Yeah, I showed it for like a second, and I only showed like a tiny bit of it, so you barely even saw all of the effort I put into this one. But yeah, if you go in here, it's like a full store. I made all the checkouts. This is the fruit section. This is kind of what we're going for, so we'll have a similar vibe to this. I also have like the flowers. Then I had like loads of Halloween decorations and stuff because it was a Halloween movie. But I made a full-on store, and I put so much effort in, and we barely even used it. But I just wanted to come and look for inspiration quickly. Yeah, I'm planning on having like the eggs and the ready meals in the back of the new one. We're just gonna kind of go very similar to what this looks like, except a lot smaller, obviously. But I put so much detail in. I had like homeware over here. This is all like the skincare stuff. I'm gonna take a picture of this because I kind of want to do a similar thing to this where it's like general supplies that you might need to quickly go and get. But this was just so good. Why is there a hole in the back? Oh my god, there's so much food in here. I forgot I had all this. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of jog my memory a little bit, and we can hop back to the main build, and I'm gonna have to place down like 200 food items. At least they're not custom, okay? At least I've been able to actually use build mode items for the majority of the products, because if not, then my plot data would just be done for. I do also want to have some cool posters. I'm also gonna make some like punnets of berries and stuff to go in the fridge here as well. But yeah, the first thing I'm gonna do is try and finish all the shelves. What I'm actually gonna do first is very quickly make like a little box, and this is gonna be where the candy is. Let me just paint it like a color for now so I can see what I'm building with, but I just need like little boxes for the candy, if that makes sense. Here we go. And then what I can do is I'm gonna have to put them on basic shapes, but I can add candy like into it like a box and add these all over. But yeah, what I'm gonna do now is basically go around and fill all the shelves with stuff. I'm not gonna yap through this bit. I'll just time lapse this for you guys and kind of just show you roughly what I'm doing, but I don't think anyone wants to watch me place down items for like 20 minutes, so you're welcome, okay? I started filling the boxes with candy, but I really didn't like how this was kind of going, so I ended up driving to the movie theater, because if you buy the candy from the theater instead, it actually comes in bigger boxes that look nicer. So I stocked up on these. Then once I was back, I actually started working on stocking up the kind of like skincare type area and adding products there. And then I went back to the candy and made the boxes smaller this time with the theater candy in it, which looked kind of cute. On the back shelves, I added a bunch of like different sauces and things. And if you're wondering why this part of the video is cropped weirdly, it's because all of this was filmed on my laptop, which has like a different screen size. But I was on my laptop because it was cold and I was sat in bed instead of my cold office. Anyways, I added a bunch of like mini spices and then cleaning supplies and party items and things, and I got pretty much all of the shelves done. So I think the store interior is pretty much nearly done, well, most of it. But I'm gonna be real, guys, when I hover in this area, my PC is on fire, okay? I can hear the fan. The plot data of Los Angeles has went up 10% just by this store, so I'm genuinely scared because it's not even finished. But this is what all these shelves are looking like. We have like the candy and stuff, I mean sweets, we have the drinks fridge, we have all the snacks and things. I do kind of hate it, but I think it's because it's not just pink, and I genuinely may have an allergy to color, so I'm trying to look past it. On this side, I have like spices and sauces, we have cleaning supplies, and then, okay, I'm gonna be real, we have cleaning supplies on the bottom where they're accessible to children, and then the toys on the top. I don't really know why I chose that way around, but that's how it's going. We have magazines, we have like some vegetables. This is like the snacks fridge, so we have like snacks down here. We have lemons because in my opinion they are a snack. I eat them. We have like punnets of berries, which I had to go very low detail on for the plot data, but it's kind of a rip-off anyways because you get like 4 of them in a packet. And we have like frozen ready meals and stuff and eggs in the back fridge. It's kind of a weird array of things, but I basically had no choice because anything else will destroy the plot data. But the only things we have left to do now are the flowers, which I'll put in the end, and this counter area, which we'll do now because I want to have like a hot dog machine and like more snacks and things, and like the conveyor belt to put your things on that you're buying. And then finally we need to do the sign on the outside, and then it should be pretty much done. I'm trying to stay low detail because I'm kind of scared about what's going on with this plot. So let's get to work on the countertop. Let me just add one as a comparison quickly. So this is the basic kind of counter area. I'm gonna add a little pink countertop to kind of match the pink wall trim, and then to make the little store conveyor belts, we're just gonna have a mini one because there's not really much room, but we are basically just gonna add like one going across here. There we go. So that is the conveyor belt. Then let me grab our till or cash register. We're gonna add this like this. Then I want some snack machines kind of like here, here, I'm gonna be real, I don't know how a hot dog machine would work, but I think we should do like the pretzel display, and then I want to have like a, you know, the Chubba Chup stand. So I was gonna try and make one of those because I have a bunch of lollipops here, but this is kind of like the rough like structure of how it's looking. Let me give, you know what, we'll give the person a chair. Wait, that's too small. It's kind of fun to just be doing like a mini build. I feel like a lot of them are kind of crazy detail, and although there's a lot on the shelves, I feel like overall there's not really much to do on the build because it's like most of it was just kind of placing down things. Okay, let's try and do the Chubba Chups thing. Let me move the pretzel machine a little bit, and then we can have the Chubba Chups thing here. I kind of want to do a colorful one. Should we do like red? Right, I'm gonna have to strategically do this because I don't want to have to transform each Chubba Chup, but if we put them in here, like it kind of like this, so we place them on the cylinder, like sticking out like how they actually have it. I'm doing this from memory, by the way, so I don't even know if this is a design, but if we do it like that and then copy and paste the shape and add another one, we can basically go up in layers. So we add more lollipops. Okay, I've run out. Let me go grab some more out of the candy bucket. Wait, this is so cute. Okay, wait, let me grab like a billion of these. Anyways, back to work. If we then add more on the next layer, kind of like in the gaps that we had on the bottom layer, sticking out as much as possible. It's kind of hard to get them to stick out. We do this and then we grab another layer. Once again, do the same thing, basically until it's tall enough to look kind of cool. Okay, I think one more layer and then we're done. And then one more layer to finish it off, and there we go. This is kind of like my wonky Chubba Chups stand. I am of course gonna make them some nicer colors, and by that I mean I'm gonna make the majority of them pink, but this is basically my idea. I feel like it looks okay. It's kind of cute to have on the counter. I think it looks pretty nice, so let's just quickly color them. So I think I finished the counter area. We have like the pretzel machine. I put chocolate ones in there. I added some like bags and everything. I've kept it very minimalistic, but I also took away the flower baskets just because I didn't want to go crazy overboard with more basic shapes just to add flowers in there, and instead I put a vending machine and a slushy station, which I actually think looks pretty cute. But that is nearly everything done except the posters in here and the sign. I didn't realize I pretty much had it finished, and it's definitely growing on me. Like, I love this area, but I am gonna go ahead and finish all of the decals, and I will see you guys for the final tour. So the build is all finished and we are gonna take a little tour. I'm gonna be real, I really don't know. I know I've said this, but I don't know whether I absolutely hate this build or it's really cute. I genuinely don't know what it looks like. So you guys are gonna have to be brutally honest with me in the comments. But here we have Glosco. As you can see, please ignore the fact that the logo is ever so slightly wonky. But this is the logo I went for. So I basically ripped off the Tesco's logo and made it pink and added Glosco. I actually think it looks really cute. So we have the outside. I kept it very minimalistic. We have our mini trolleys, which I think looks adorable, and our fruit stand, and that is pretty much it for the outside. It's very simple, but if we go inside, we have the store. I do think, okay, maybe it's kind of adorable. If we start over here, we have like the counter area. I have a candy hearts poster I made. We have like our pretzels and stuff, the drinks fridge and everything, the snacks. I think this area especially looks really cute. We have like a noodle poster and then this fruit juice poster, and I did actually call this, if you can like, you can slightly see it, I did call it Tropics, and that's actually a little Easter egg to what I wanted my channel to originally be called in like 2019. But this is kind of this area. This area is definitely my favorite. We have some more stuff over here. I didn't actually put any decals on any of these because a lot of data again, but it looks okay. I feel like you don't really clock on that it's like, you know, empty. But we have all of this stuff, all like the skincare. If I go around, we have our vegetables. We have another little snack fridge. I have another poster too. We have the freezers. We have all of this stuff. Now I did remember when I was like editing that I wanted to sell jams in here and I completely forgot to get them, but we have like all this stuff, and then we also have a fake door. I haven't actually mentioned this, but this isn't real. It's just fake. It kind of ruined the school store, but that is pretty much it. It's just a tiny little grocery store. I'm actually kind of happy with it. I'm not too sure, but I think it's kind of cute. That's pretty much it. Oh yeah, as per usual, if you want any of the decals, you can of course follow my Roblox at GlossieYT and you can steal all of my stuff. Let me know what you guys think down below. I do kind of like the exterior. I like the simplicity. I do just have to say though, Gloss Angeles might be taking some hits, okay? So the plot data is getting a bit strict. So what I think I'm gonna have to do is the majority of the upstairs things are just gonna have to be empty. So we're just gonna have to kind of block off the light, kind of similar to these. So it'll have like a false kind of second floor. And then I think these units at the back, I'm just gonna get rid of and have like a little park area, because if we want this finished completely, then I'm gonna have to kind of like not do as much as I wanted to, which sucks, but I have a lot of builds I want to do that I'll just end up doing on a plot by themselves, but I think the only ones we're gonna do is this one here and this one here. This is also a unit, and then I also have like this weirdly separated one. I don't know whether I'll combine this or something. And then I did have one up here that I really wanted to do, which I might still do because it's a simple one. I don't want to tell you guys what it is, but it's kind of like something that wouldn't really require a lot of basic shapes, so I think we could do that. So I think there may be, I think 4 more Gloss Angeles builds to do, and the rest is just gonna have to be blocked off, but in a way that it looks cute, so we can finally actually have a finished Gloss Angeles plot. But I think we know from my building style that I'm really not cut out to do like city plots, because I could genuinely max out the plot data on just one of these stores. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the supermarket. Let me get back out of build mode. That is it for Glossco. Let me know what you think down below, and I will see you all next week for another build video. As per usual, a huge shout out to all my channel members. Thank you so much for joining the channel, and my Nitro boosters. Thank you so much for boosting my Discord server, and my merch buyers. Thank you so much for buying my merch, which is of course always linked at the top of the description. But I will see you all later. I love you all so much, your sets. XOXO Glossy Girl.